actually did a reactions video with my homies in Club Atlantis, Mr. Griffin and L'Oreal Lewis, and we all watched the SummerSlam card together. And unfortunately, Prince wasn't there, but he had engagements with his family. But the thing was, with the match between Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks, I still have a lot that I want to talk about. It's not going to be to the point of rage, because to be honest, after sitting back and thinking about it, I'm still a bit mixed on how I feel. I was extraordinarily mixed. I did not know how to feel. At first, it was rage. Because number one, it was false advertising. And that's what it was, because they knew months in advance of what was going to happen. I would not be, or at least weeks in advance. If she did contract COVID, which is the theory, or maybe the hypothesis, if you will, that she haven't contracted COVID and they didn't want to have that out there, then they knew way in advance that she wasn't going to show up. But I understand how they wanted to utilize it, especially bringing Becky back. But it was still false advertising, and it really pissed me off when they brought out Carmella. But if you really think about it, it's kind of an insult to Carmella, unless she knew the reaction that everyone was going to give her when she came out, and it just wasn't a positive one. I was really upset. I was pissed off, because I'm like, am I going to see this match again? Really? We saw this on Friday. This was literally 24 hours later. We just saw this match. We're seeing it again, and I was just raging. But all that just subsided, and I just calmed right down when I saw Becky Lynch came out. I was like, okay, you made it up to me. And now all of a sudden, I have these mixed emotions that I don't know how to place or figure out. Because you have Becky Lynch making a return after a year being gone, after having baby Rue and getting married to Seth Rollins. And she has she's in a different spot in her life. She made her debut back, her return back, not debut, but she made her return back. And honestly, to thunderous applause. But it's not really so much the fact that the ending on who took the title really did anger me. Because I was mixed, because I love Becky. I still love Becky. I think her man gimmick is cool. I think her man gimmick gives her a lot of confidence in herself, and it shows. But it was how it was done. Bianca Belair has earned that spot. Now, this is coming from someone who was a Bianca Belair hater since she came out, since she was on the Mae Young Classic. She had potential, but I hated the fact that she used her hair. I thought that was a weakness. I thought that shows that she had a lot of flaws she was hiding behind, and her matches were one-sided to where she was dominant throughout the majority of her matches in NXT. I did not like her during her NXT days, but I will admit she started to win me over the more times that she was on screen, and you showed that she was putting her all into everything. And it showed a lot. The Royal Rumble definitely won me over when it came to Bianca Belair. And now I am a fan of hers. I probably have, my feelings towards her prior to the Rumble was maybe different to where I was really starting to like her. But I really saw that she had character, she had heart, she had confidence, and she backed it up. And she was incredibly strong too. But you do all that to build Bianca Belair up. You do all that to make her not only a dominant female, but you also made her a champion of that brand, only for her to be squashed. Now let's be real. For people that say it wasn't a squash match, stop lying. It was a squash match, okay? I'm not going to say burial, because we're going to see how her career goes down the line. So I'm not going to say burial. I'm not too quick to say that. But I am going to say it was definitely a squash. And you're going to do everything you can to build up this woman, to make her a dominant female wrestler, and to make her a champion, only for her to be squashed by the man in less than 2 seconds. It's ridiculous. And honestly, there's two theories that I have on that. Number one, either they really have changed their mind about Bianca Belair at the last minute and just decided, oh, Becky's back, let's put it on her. Or number two, they're doing this to condition the audience to hate Becky. Because Bianca Belair is now the most beloved wrestler there is, next to Sasha Banks. And that match that she had at WrestleMania was what cemented it. The fact that she had that feud, and to be honest with you, the feud was lackluster. I know it is. But towards the very end, they actually start doing something with it. But that WrestleMania match is the one thing that cemented it all together. It was the one thing that brought it all to a head. And it was legendary. And it made people love Bianca for who she is. And now you have the most beloved champion on SmackDown to the man who actually her character was always an anti-hero. Let's be honest. Her character was never a full heel. She was the female version, the female version of Stone Cold Steve Austin. She was 100% the Irish version of Stone Cold Steve Austin. We know this. And it's okay to have an anti-hero. You don't have to have a full-fledged heel. But the fact that she beat Bianca in less than 2 seconds and took the title from her that quickly, and not even have a full match at SummerSlam, knowing that that Sasha Banks was not there, was disappointing. I really want to see how Becky can go. I really want to see, for her being out, if she had ring rust. I wanted to see how she would pair up with Bianca Belair. I never thought I wanted a match like that in my life, but it was more disappointing that I didn't get that match and that Bianca got squashed. Now, I think the WWE is setting it up to be that way. They've always wanted Becky Lynch to be a heel, and this is the best way to do it. But in my opinion, it's going to backfire because not a lot of people are going to cheer for her. I mean, a lot of people are going to cheer for her, but not a lot of people are going to boo her because they're like me. They're like me and majority of people in Club Atlantis that night. We were all confused. Our emotions were everywhere because we loved Becky. We love Becky Lynch for who she is. And for her, even if they make her a heel, nobody's going to boo her. Because why? WWE has to understand that the fans are smarter than they think. They have caught wind to the fact that this is probably a corporate move, and they're going to rebel against the corporation. They're not going to rebel against what they did with Becky. They're not going to blame Becky. They're going to blame WWE. So they're going to act up. They're going to take over the show. They're going to rebel. They're going to bring the beach balls back. They're going to do all that stuff because the one thing they wanted was to have a good match at SummerSlam and have a good moment, which it could have been, but we were robbed of that. Now, the one thing I expected out of SummerSlam was for the fans to act up, especially after that whole AEW Rampage thing with CM Punk in his promo. But everyone was well behaved. Now it's going to change because they decided to try to go the heel route, and that's just my theory on that. I think that they're trying to sway the crowd to make Becky Lynch a heel so they can have their heel, and the fans will actually boo her. And to be honest, I don't think it's going to work very well. I think it's going to still be split down the middle. There are people going to be mad and they're going to boo her, but they're not going to boo her. They're going to be booing the people that represent her. But anyway, y'all, I really want to hear your thoughts on this. Do you think that somehow the WWE is trying to psychologically manipulate the fans again by having Becky Lynch coming back after a year to squash practically one of the most loved baby faces there are at this point? Or do you honestly think that they just kind of gave up on Bianca at the last minute and decided to put on Becky? But anyway, I want to hear your thoughts on this. Leave a comment below. Let me know how you feel. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace out.